The first owner of a luxury car is not the winner. They're the sponsor. They pay six figures for a badge, a smell of new leather, and the privilege of peeling plastic off the seats. 5 years later, that same car is worth a third of the price. That missing money? It didn't disappear. It transferred. Depreciation is the single greatest wealth transfer in the automotive world. And if you know where to look, you can collect it. But here's the trap. Most cheap luxury cars are not bargains. They're financial grenades, ticking time bombs designed to fail the moment the warranty expires. One repair, one warning light, and suddenly your deal costs more than a brand new Camry. So today, we're not doing that. I've found 10 ultra-luxury cars that have already hit rock-bottom prices. And this part is critical, they're actually reliable. Cars that still look like a CEO's bonus check, but cost the same as a used Honda Civic. No hype. No fantasy builds. Just cold depreciation, proven engines, and smart buying. We're starting with a car almost nobody talks about. A flagship so overbuilt, so misunderstood, that it may be the best luxury deal in the world right now. Let's begin. Number 1, Hyundai Equus, the luxury car nobody understood. If you removed the badges from this car, most people would swear you bought a Mercedes S-Class, or even a Bentley. That's not an exaggeration. That was Hyundai's actual goal. The Equus wasn't meant to be good for Hyundai. It was built to humiliate the Germans. And technically, it succeeded. The problem? They priced it like a Mercedes, but sold it with a Hyundai logo. Nobody bought it, which is exactly why you should. Today, you can find a Hyundai Equus for around $11. That's less than a base Corolla. But here's why this car belongs on this list. The engine. Under the hood is the 5.0-liter TAO V8. 429 horsepower. Naturally aspirated. No turbos. No direct injection nightmares. This engine is widely regarded as one of the most reliable modern V8s ever made. It's smooth. It's quiet. And it will run forever if you do basic maintenance. The interior. This was Hyundai showing off. Reclining rear seats. Heated and cooled everything. A refrigerator in the center console. Real leather. Real wood. And doors that close with authority. This is not budget luxury. This is executive transport. The one warning. Air suspension. Yes, it will fail eventually. That's not a rumor. That's physics. Expect about $500 per corner when it happens. But here's the reality. You're driving a V8 limousine. That costs less than a used Civic. That repair bill? That's still winning. The Hyundai Equus isn't cheap because it's bad. It's cheap because people never gave it a chance. And that mistake is now your profit. Number 2, Audi A8. The right engine changes everything. If you want to feel like you're transporting something important, you buy an Audi A8. This is the D4 generation, the one built on an all-aluminum space frame. Lighter than steel. Stronger than steel. And it will never rust. On paper, this car was over $90. In reality today, you can buy one for around $14. But this is where most people get it wrong. They see used Audi. They see luxury V8. And they run. They're not wrong. What not to buy? The V8 versions are nightmares. Timing chains. Oil consumption. Repairs that start at $5 and don't stop. That's the trap. The secret engine. You must buy the 3.0T. This is a supercharged V6, not a turbo. It's the same engine used in the Audi S4. Strong. Tunable. Proven. Shockingly reliable. You still get flagship Audi design. A massive, quiet interior. Quattro all-wheel drive. And presence that screams money. But you avoid the $10 V8 disasters. Mechanic warning. 2 weak points. PCV valve. Thermostat. Both are plastic. Both usually fail around 80.000 miles. Repair cost? About $1.200. Factor that in, and you're still buying a $90 car. For the price of a used Corolla. Why this is a smart buy? Most people don't know the difference between Audi engines. They just hear horror stories and walk away. That ignorance is your advantage. The Audi A8 3.0T is not cheap because it's bad. It's cheap because people are scared. And fear is where the best deals live. Number 3, Infiniti Q70L. The V8 tank nobody talks about. Nobody knows what this car is. And that's exactly why it's here. This is the Infiniti Q70L. The L stands for long wheelbase, and yes, it has more rear legroom than a standard S-Class. So why is it cheap? Because the interior design looks a little old school. No giant touchscreens. No fake futurism. Just buttons. Real controls. And mechanical honesty. The engine you want. The only version that matters is the 5.6-liter V8. This is the same engine used in the Nissan Titan, the Nissan Patrol. Vehicles designed for heat, weight, and abuse. 420 horsepower. Naturally aspirated. No turbo stress. No CVT nonsense. It uses a traditional 7-speed automatic, which means it shifts like a proper car, not a rubber band. It sounds like a muscle car, but it rides like a limo. How cheap are we talking? You can find a V8, all-wheel drive Q70L for under $15. That is absurd value. Reliability reality. This is arguably the most reliable V8 luxury sedan you can buy. That isn't a Lexus. No fragile air suspension nightmares. No experimental drivetrains. No surprise engineering. Just a big engine, overbuilt components, and Japanese reliability. Why it's overlooked? It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't beg to be noticed. And in the used luxury market, that's exactly what keeps prices low. The Infiniti Q70L isn't trying to impress Instagram. It's built to last. Number 4, Acura RLX Sport Hybrid. The boring car with supercar DNA. Acura made a mistake with this car. They built something technically brilliant, and then made it look completely boring. Which is exactly why it failed. And why it's now a steal. This is the Acura RLX Sport Hybrid. And underneath the conservative design is technology borrowed directly from the Acura NSX. How it actually works. This isn't a normal hybrid. A V6 drives the front wheels. 2 independent electric motors drive the rear wheels. That means torque vectoring. Each rear wheel can receive power independently, allowing this large sedan to corner like something much smaller, almost like a Porsche. The numbers: 377 horsepower, 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 5 seconds, around 30 mpg in the city, all while being silent, smooth, effortless. Why it lost so much value? Because nobody bought them new. The design didn't excite buyers. The price scared people. And the technology confused everyone. So they sat on dealer lots. And when cars don't sell new, they collapse in value used. Reliability reality. Mechanically, this is still a Honda. The drivetrain is overbuilt. The hybrid system is proven. And owners regularly see extreme mileage with minimal issues. The one warning: parts availability. If you crash it, body parts are rare. A bumper or headlight can take weeks to source. But mechanically, it runs forever. You get dual LED headlights, flagship Acura comfort, supercar-inspired hybrid tech, for the price of an economy car. The Acura RLX Sport Hybrid didn't fail because it was bad. It failed because it was too smart for its own marketing. Number 5, Cadillac XTS. Built to float, not to impress. This car wasn't built to be sporty. It wasn't built to race anyone. It was built for one purpose: comfort. The Cadillac XTS replaced the old DeVille and DTS. Cars designed for people who measure luxury by how little they feel the road. And in that mission, the XTS delivers. The suspension that matters. Every XTS comes standard with magnetic ride control. This is the same adaptive suspension technology used by Ferrari. It reads the road 1.000 times per second and adjusts the shocks instantly. Potholes disappear. Highway expansion joints vanish. The car doesn't drive, it glides. The engine. Under the hood is the 3.6-liter V6. No, it's not exciting. And that's the point. Naturally aspirated. Cheap parts. Easy to service. Any mechanic can fix it. This engine has been around forever. And all the problems are already known. Why it's cheap? Because it's not flashy. No aggressive styling. No performance badge. So the market ignores it. Which means you can find clean examples for well under $12. Mechanic warning. The infotainment system, the Q touchscreen, is notorious for delaminating, cracking in heat, looking like a spiderweb. Replacement cost? About $1. Here's the move. If the screen doesn't respond perfectly, negotiate immediately. That flaw alone can knock thousands off the price. The reality. The Cadillac XTS isn't cool. It isn't exciting. But if your definition of luxury is silence, smoothness, effortless cruising, this is one of the best comfort bargains on the road. Number 6, Volvo S80 Volts 8, the sleeper with a motorcycle heart. Volvo is known for safety. But for a brief, insane moment, they wanted speed. So they did something nobody expected. They hired Yamaha, the motorcycle company, to build them a V8. The result is this car. The engine. This is a 4.4-liter V8, designed by Yamaha. Compact, lightweight, high revving. Sounds like something from Italy. It's one of the most unique V8s ever put into a sedan. And despite the European badge, it's surprisingly reliable. The car itself. The S80 is built like a vault. Thick steel. Legendary Volvo seats. All-wheel drive. Outstanding crash safety. It's not flashy. It's not loud. It's a sleeper. Why it's so cheap? Because people are terrified of European V8. They hear horror stories and walk away. So prices collapse. You can find these cars under $8. That is insane value. The one big warning. The alternator. Because the engine is so compact and tightly packaged, the alternator is buried deep inside the bay. Replacing it is a labor nightmare. But once it's done, the car becomes incredibly dependable. The reality. You get 311 horsepower. All-wheel drive. One of the safest sedans ever built. For the price of a used iPhone and a laptop. The Volvo S80 V8 isn't cheap because it's bad. It's cheap because people don't understand it. Number 7, BMW 528i. The last BMW built the old way. Buying a cheap used BMW is usually financial suicide. But there is one exception. And you must get this exact year. The 2011 BMW 528i. Not 2012. Not newer. Not turbo. Why 2011 matters? Because 2011 is the last year BMW used the N52 inline 6. This engine is legendary. Naturally aspirated. No turbos. No direct injection. No plastic timing chain disasters. It is widely considered the most reliable modern engine BMW ever made. In 2012, BMW switched to turbocharged 4 cylinders. Those engines? Plastic grenades. This one isn't. What you're actually buying. The F10 chassis gives you modern BMW design. A quiet, solid cabin. Excellent balance. Rear-wheel drive dynamics. But underneath, it's old-school BMW engineering. Smooth. Linear. Predictable. No surprises. The price gap. When new, this car felt like a $30, $40 sedan. Today, you can find clean examples for around $9. That's economy car money. For a car that still looks executive. Reliability reality. The N52 engine has been proven for over a decade. Most issues are minor. Valve cover gasket. Oil filter housing gasket. Cheap parts. Straightforward repairs. Nothing catastrophic. Nothing that destroys wallets. Why this car exists in this window? BMW accidentally created a perfect overlap. New body. Old reliable engine. And that overlap only exists for one model year. Miss it, and you're back in turbo trouble. The 2011 BMW 528i is the sweet spot. The last BMW before everything went plastic. Number 8 Lincoln Continental. Luxury that lost to SUVs. This car didn't fail because it was bad. It failed because everyone wanted SUVs. The Lincoln Continental arrived at the worst possible moment, when sedans were already dying. Which is exactly why it's such a bargain today. A touch of Rolls-Royce. Some rare black label models even feature coach doors. Rear doors that open backward. Just like a Rolls-Royce. But even the standard versions feel special. Hidden door handles integrated into the chrome. Massive, pillow-soft seats. A cabin designed for calm, not speed. This car doesn't shout. It whispers wealth. The smart part nobody talks about. Underneath all that luxury, it's basically a Ford Taurus. And that's a good thing. Cheap parts. Easy servicing. Any mechanic can fix it. No exotic engineering. No dealership-only nightmares. The price collapse. When new, these cars stickered for around $70. Today, you can find excellent examples for $16. That's nearly an 80% depreciation hit. And the car still feels modern. How it drives. Quiet. Smooth. Effortless. It's not sporty. It's not aggressive. It's built for long highway miles. Comfortable commuting. Stress-free ownership. The reality. The Lincoln Continental isn't a status symbol anymore. And that's exactly why it's a smart buy. You get real luxury, real comfort, and real value, without paying for hype. Number 9 Mercedes-Benz E-Class. The last overbuilt Mercedes. Ask a taxi driver in Germany what the best Mercedes ever made is. Most of them will give you the same answer. The W212 E-Class. Specifically the 2014 to 2016 facelift models. This was the last time Mercedes built cars. To a standard, not a price. The engine that matters. Under the hood is the M276 V6. Naturally aspirated. Proven. Smooth. Bulletproof. No turbos. No experimental systems. Just solid engineering. Why this generation is special. Everything feels heavier. Thick doors. Dense materials. Switchgear that wears like iron. Close the door and listen. That solid thud? You don't get that anymore. How cheap are they? You can buy a clean E350 for around $12. That's unbelievable for a car that still looks prestigious, still commands respect in valet lines, still outlasts many newer models. Mechanic warning. The wood trim. On some cars, the dashboard wood can fade. If the car lived in heavy sun, that's it. No engine nightmares. No transmission disasters. That's the big problem. The reality. This E-Class will likely outlive the brand new E-Class that costs $80. Because this one was built before accountants took control. Number 10 Lexus LS 460. The closest thing to a private jet on wheels. If there is a final boss of used luxury cars, this is it. The Lexus LS 460. We've talked about the legendary LS 430 before. But the LS 460 is faster, bigger, quieter, and far more modern. When new, this was a $90 flagship. Today, you can buy one for around $12. The engine. Under the hood is a 4.6-liter V8. 380 horsepower. Silky smooth. Completely unbothered by high speeds. At 100 miles per hour, it's barely awake. This is Lexus engineering at its peak. The experience. Everything about this car is designed to remove effort from your life. Soft closed doors. Heated steering wheel. Radar cruise control, as early as 2010. Absolute silence at highway speeds. This isn't driving. It's traveling. The two things to check. Even legends have weak points. 1 front control arms. This is a heavy car. It eats suspension bushings around 60.000 miles. Repair cost? About $2. 2 brake actuator. If you hear clicking when pressing the brake pedal, it's on its way out. Expensive? Yes. Deal breaker? No. Even with those repairs, you are still buying a $90 experience. For economy car money. The reality. The LS460 isn't cheap because it's outdated. It's cheap because nothing breaks fast enough to scare people away. And that's exactly what makes it unbeatable. Buying a cheap luxury car can be one of the smartest financial moves you make. But buying the wrong one is financial suicide. There are modern cars designed to die the moment the warranty expires. Avoid those at all costs. The cars on this list are different. They've already taken the depreciation hit. They're built on proven engines. And they reward buyers who think, not flex. If you want to look rich, buy new. If you want to stay rich, buy smart. See you in the next one.